everyone, and welcome to the pod. On today's episode, we are joined by Graham Jennings, who is the senior producer behind Hyper Scape, and we're also joined by TannerSlays, who is not only a part of the very first Hyper Scape Twitch Rivals tournament, but also placed second in this past weekend's $50,000 Creator Cup. They're going to be helping us break down Hyper Scape from the very first things you should be learning all the way to high-level tournament plays. Let's get to it. Hyper Scape is officially available everywhere, but some players are still dropping in for the very first time. So Graham, can you give us some tips on what players should be learning first and what the most important thing is when you are dropping into the Hyper Scape?
I think the key things for players for the first time they play is really, you want to land close to where your lobby is. So basically, the game's split out into 4 lobbies at the game start. So you want to land on a point that's fairly low and close to you. That will allow you to get there first and is likely to have less opposition. From there, you want to quickly look for a weapon. So you can smash the barricades with your baton and start to look for a weapon. You want to pick up a weapon early. Secondly to that, we have the function called hacks. They're basically abilities for players to be able to use. It's good to pick up a hack quickly as well. Things like teleport, invisibility, slam are things that add to your movement to keep you safe in the early game. So you need to make sure you're armed early, and you need to make sure you have a hack with you as well.
And from your point of view, Tanner, what are some tournament tips you can give for those players who are trying to get those next level strategies?
So if you want a safe landing to make sure that you can land, get your weapons, your hacks, and make sure your team is together safely, you can all land straight down below. Or what we were doing in the Creator Cup and in other competitions where we would land somewhat center of the map. That way we, could get on top of Red Tiger, which is a location in the center, to offer kind of vantage points around the entire map to see where stray bullets are going, or if two teams are fighting, to where we can kind of get involved a little bit early. I would recommend off the start something with mobility, especially in these competitions where people are being eliminated really, really, really quick off the start. So teleport obviously closes the distance, can be used offensively or defensively. Slam, you can basically pull yourself up into the air, and it's really great for like looking around the entire map to see if teams are fighting, and you can see a bird's eye view of where everybody's at. And then you can, secondly, when you complete your slam, you slam down and do extra damage to other players. Invisibility is incredibly strong for if you say get caught off guard. Say if you get shot in the back or kind of get caught off guard and someone surprises you, you can always activate your invisibility and kind of relocate, reposition yourself. With heal offers really good sustain when team fighting. There's quite a few matches where we ran into other tournament teams. Having that extra heal creates that kind of sustain to eventually win the fight, or we could relocate and reposition to give us a better chance to win the game.
Obviously, once you get those core gameplay mechanics honed and ready, you're going to want to look into weapons and hacks. So for you, Graham, what are some weapons and hacks that you not only love to use personally, but that you designed?
So for me, in terms of my favorite loadout, I'm a kind of short range player. I like to use the Mammoth shotgun, which is really useful, especially when paired with teleport. You can teleport up, be right on the player, and shotgun them really close range. Secondly to that, I like to use the Harpy. Harpy's kind of a super fast rate submachine gun. Same thing, that's really good when paired with teleport or paired with invisibility. It allows you to get up really close to your enemy player and eliminate them. In terms of the weapons that we designed, which I think are cool, from dev's time, I really like the Skybreaker. It's really interesting. It fires this big bolt of energy. You can see them flying across the map, and if you're good enough to land on someone, it does a lot of damage. It's really interesting to see these bolts fly towards you from other rooftops, and you're kind of dodging and moving as you're shooting back at the other players.
And for you, Tanner, have you noticed any optimal loadouts or optimal combinations that really secure those tournament wins?
Personally, I like to use the Ripper. I've always been an assault rifle player when it comes to FPS games. So when you start out and you land and get your core weapons of what you want to level up, when you find duplicates of those weapons, you can fuse them together. Majority of them, you get magazine increases, and then on the final upgrade, you get a damage increase. So it's really crucial and important to fuse the duplicates of your loadout to make them stronger and better. So primary, I would say the Ripper, and then myself, I really like using the Riot 1. The damage output, the more and more that you level it up, is Vital, Teleport, and like Heal was a really good loadout to run. So the more and more that you fuse, the same thing goes along with your hacks as well. If you find the same hack, you can duplicate it to then reduce the cooldown of your hack. So you can teleport more or heal your team more. So, it's crucial to find those duplicates.
Now, the game has been in the hands of the players for a little bit over a week now. Is there anything surprising that you've seen the community discover and learn or develop, or any tactics that you're shocked to see?
I think two of the key things that have been really interesting. One's people's usage of wall. Like, we always thought about wall to block someone in or to protect yourself from behind. People are using it as a mobility hack now as well. They're throwing the wall on the ground, it teleports them up in the air, and then they use that as mobility on top. So that's been really interesting. Second one is the popularity of Slam. Like, we knew Slam was good. It allows you to be offensive or defensive. You can escape a gunfight by projecting up in the air. You can also project up and slam down on an enemy, but it's been really, really popular. I think it's almost in everybody's loadout. So that one's been really interesting to see. I think secondly to that is really the popularity of the Riot 1 pistol. We see a lot of players using the sniper rifle for long range tactics, but they also seem to pair it with the Riot 1 too. So they'll snipe the enemy a couple of times or once, and then they'll finish them off with the Riot 1 pistol. So that one's been super, super popular as well.
Before you go, Graham, we wanted to finish things off with something a little more fun. And that was to collect some community plays and get your reactions from it, because we've seen some pretty cool stuff so far. So let's roll those clips.
I see he's rocking the loadout, the Riot 1 Mammoth.
Here's a good use of Slam. He's managed to project himself up to the top of the building and he's chased the player down.
Good slam right here to contest this person on height.
He follows him down with a mammoth shotgun, stands right beside him, has a good look at him.
This player just has no idea where he's at, what's happening around him. That was hilarious to see him just kind of like looking around hopelessly, like, I hope he doesn't know where I am,
Here, this is a nice clip. We really see some interesting interior combat. You've seen the player with the upper advantage retreat a little bit, taking some damage, gone upstairs.
So you notice that he's got wall heal. This is one of those like sustaining loadouts.
But you'll see he's been really smart. He's left a little gap at the bottom of the wall.
Oh no, and he goes for the toe shots. He walls off the entire building right here. And there's a little advantageous opening there. And he takes this player out, shooting the toes. So this loadout, I'm already noticing Skybreaker Komodo makes it really hard to challenge players up close, especially being indoors too. Explosives are incredibly strong. The lethal melee event is happening right now. Both of his teammates are eliminated, so everyone's watching this go down right now. That's actually really awesome. Great use of the armor there, armor heal. If he gets outnumbered inside, he can use the heal for the sustain. And when he's outnumbered outside, or as you saw, other players were attacking him, the full squad wipes an entire team with only a melee. The melee events are extremely terrifying because your game is on, like, that's your tournament on the line, and you don't want to just die to melee attacks. So you have to be situationally aware of what event is out.
Obviously, when it comes to strategy and it comes to high-level plays, we had to get Tanner to break down one of his own plays from this past weekend during the Creator Cup. So we got this clip for you, Tanner, and we need to hear your breakdown on it. Take it away.
So we landed Helios inside of the, or outside of the, general structure of Helios. We go to the solar panels. There's a player that I kind of see that's approaching me pretty aggressively, and I knew that he had the advantage, so I wanted to disengage from that fight. You see me go up to top Helios and call that out. Now my team comes in, saves me. I do have invisibility to kind of prolong this guy wondering where the heck I went. And so then we take this guy out. Now here, I'm just looking for any upgrades, any ammo. As you see here, my teammate called out like a Riot 1. We were talking about that earlier, how incredibly important it is to fuse your weapons together. So I get that fuse up right there. I already hear more shots, more call outs that there are enemy teams fighting. So here, this is what I love about the Ripper. Now, personally, I love being a support player. So any target that I see, I'm going to be putting shots down range. As you can see here, I'm focusing down low and then immediately acknowledge another player up top. And then just kind of transition from there. And then there's just so much loot scattered on the ground. As you see here, I kind of take a slow time of making sure that I'm not leaving any fuse ups behind. And we go on to finish the fight, finish the game.
That's all for today, you guys. Thank you so much, Graham and Tanner, for joining us, sharing your insight, and having a great time. For everyone watching from home, make sure you're here next week because we are diving even deeper into Hyper Scape, and we're going to be showing off some more of your community highlights. So make sure you're submitting those using hashtag Hyper Scape. But before you go, don't forget, we have another memory shard hint for you. Check it out.